welcome. Today we're looking at a whole range of sources from Thursday, July 3rd, 2025.
That's right. Trying to make sense of the latest global developments for you.
Yeah, cutting through the noise. We've got politics, conflicts, the economy, even space. So let's get into it.
Okay.
Starting off in the U.S., there's this really significant piece of legislation, H.R. 1. People are calling it the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. It just squeezed through the House.
Right, and the way it passed is key. They used budget reconciliation.
So just a simple majority needed in the Senate then, not the usual 60 votes.
Exactly, and it looks like it's heading for the president's desk tomorrow, July 4th.
Okay, so what's in this big, beautiful bill?
Well, it's a real mixed bag. On one side, you've got permanent extensions for the 2017 tax cuts.
Okay.
And things like provisions for tips and overtime pay being extended.
And this is where it gets, well, really interesting. There are huge cuts involved, too.
Massive cuts. We're talking nearly $1 trillion less for Medicaid, just Medicaid alone. Plus big reductions to SNAP food benefits, the food stamp program, and cuts to veteran programs, too.
And there's more, isn't there? New work requirements for aid?
Yes, new work requirements. Also a one-year ban on federal money going to abortion clinics.
And climate. I heard clean energy tax credits are affected.
They are cut, along with other climate programs. But at the same time, there's an extra $40 billion earmarked for border security and deportations.
So wait, how does that add up? Tax cuts, spending on the border, but also claiming it's fiscally sound while raising the debt ceiling by, what, $5 trillion?
Yeah, that's the central question, isn't it? The Independent Congressional Budget Office, the CBO, they've looked at it, their estimate, it actually increases the deficit by about $3.4 trillion over the next decade.
So not really debt reduction then?
Doesn't look like it. It seems much more like a major reshuffling of priorities, money moving towards security, away from social programs, away from climate initiatives.
Which, could really change things for a lot of people down the line.
Absolutely. The long-term impact on public services, societal welfare, it's significant.
And people are already reacting. I saw reports of protests.
Yes, in San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah.
Specifically protesting those cuts, Medicaid, SNAP, the veteran benefits.
And this kind of tension, it's not just a U.S. thing, is it?
No, definitely not. Look at Serbia. You had 79 protesters arrested, mostly students.
How was this?
Belgrade and Novi Sad, they were blocking streets. It actually started over an infrastructure collapse, believe it or not.
Huh. But it grew from there.
Yeah, now they're demanding early elections, calling out government corruption. And the EU, the UN, they're both watching closely. It kind of shows this broader pattern of public unease.
And back in the U.S., that border focus in the bill, it's having real-world effects already, like military deployments.
It is. In Los Angeles, you've got nearly 4,000 National Guard members, plus about 700 Marines now supporting IC operations.
IC being immigration and customs enforcement.
Correct, and that's drawing criticism, particularly from veteran groups. They're concerned about using military personnel for these kinds of domestic civilian tasks.
Citing things like the Posse Comitatus Act, that historic limitation.
Exactly. And we're seeing concrete actions like a raid down in Laredo, Texas, 24 undocumented immigrants detained there.
And individual cases, too.
Yes, the case of Jose Zuniga in California. His family's fighting his deportation. And then there are these serious allegations coming out of Los Angeles.
Racial profiling.
Yes, claims of racial profiling, Hispanic individuals being detained, even some who are American citizens. The White House is denying those claims, however.
And there was a Supreme Court decision related to deportations, too.
Right. Just adding to the complexity, the court ruled that immigrants can now be deported to South Sudan, even if they have absolutely no connection to the country.
Wow. Okay, shifting gears a bit. Let's look at global conflicts. That intense war between Iran and Israel seems to have ended.
It concluded on June 24th. After 12 days, Iran's official death toll is 935.
But NGOs are saying higher.
Yeah, non-governmental organizations put the figure closer to 11,190.
And the internal politics in Iran. Any surprises there?
Kind of an unexpected outcome, actually. It seems the opposition groups who are in exile, they actually lost some ground.
How so?
Well, ironically, the conflict seemed to rally people internally against what they saw as outside aggression, sort of a unifying effect, strangely.
And while Iran's claiming victory?
Satellite images might tell a slightly different story. They show repair work happening at the Fordo nuclear facility, the underground one.
Suggesting the attacks did have a real impact.
A significant impact on their infrastructure, yes.
Okay, meanwhile, the war in Ukraine. Still ongoing. There was a call between President Putin and President Trump.
There was. Putin apparently said he's not backing down on his objectives, but he does want a negotiated solution.
And Trump's side.
Trump indicated no real progress was made on the call.
And the timing of this call is interesting, isn't it? Just after the U.S. paused arms shipments to Ukraine.
The day after, yes, that connection is pretty significant.
And on the ground, still heavy fighting?
Very active. We've had confirmation of some high-profile casualties. Russia's Navy Deputy Commander-in-Chief, a General Good, was killed in a Ukrainian attack.
Okay.
And the former pro-Russian mayor of Luhansk, Manolis Pilibov, was assassinated. The front line itself saw 110 combat clashes and something like 4,500 Russian bombardments in just 24 hours.
Intense, especially where?
Particularly fierce around the Pokrovsk area.
All right, let's pivot to the economy. U.S. inflation figures for June are coming soon, July 15th.
That's the official release date, but we do have some early indicators.
Like the Cleveland Fed's model.
Exactly, their nowcasting model. It's basically trying to predict current conditions in real time.
And what's it showing for June?
It estimates year-over-year inflation at 2.64% for June. That's a little tick upwards from May's 2.4%.
And looking ahead to July.
The projection for July is slightly lower at 2.62%, but the key thing really is core inflation.
Right, the one that strips out food and energy prices, the volatile stuff.
Correct. And that core inflation is projected to keep climbing, up to 2.95% for June and then 3.05% for July.
So even if the main number looks okay, those underlying pressures?
They still seem very much present, yeah.
Okay, now for something completely different. A NASA discovery. Sounds exciting.
It really is. NASA's found only the third known interstellar object. It's a comet. They've named it 3I Atlas.
Interstellar, meaning from outside our solar system.
Exactly. They spotted it July 1st from a telescope in Chile. And its speed, it's moving incredibly fast, confirms it didn't originate here.
Where might it have come from?
Possibly even near the center of the Milky Way galaxy. It's only the third one we've found in about 8 years.
Which says something about our detection capabilities now, I guess.
Definitely shows how much better our systems are getting. It's like a tangible link to what's beyond our own solar system, you know?
Amazing. And is it heading our way? Any danger?
No, good news there. No threat to Earth at all. It'll pass by safely in December.
Phew. Okay. Let's talk sports.
Yeah.
Big day tomorrow, July 4th, for soccer fans.
Yes. The FIFA Club World Cup quarterfinals kick off right here in the U.S.
First match.
Fluminense against Al Hilal, that's in Orlando. And remember, both those teams caused huge upsets earlier, knocking out Manchester City and Inter Milan.
Right. Big surprises. And the other match tomorrow.
That's Palmeiras versus Chelsea over in Philadelphia.
And then more games on the 5th.
Yep. July 5th, you've got PSG playing Bayern and Real Madrid taking on Dortmund. Some really massive matchups there.
Definitely some exciting games.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, let's look at movies. What's hitting the screens?
Well, today, actually just one new release, a drama called Hot Milk.
Okay, but the overall trend for July.
Oh, it's crystal clear. Sequels and reboots are just dominating. Absolutely dominating.
Like what?
You've got Jurassic World Rebirth, the new Superman movie, Fantastic Four First Steps. Even Happy Gilmore 2 is dropping on Netflix.
Happy Gilmore 2. Really?
Really. 8 out of the 10 most anticipated films this month are sequels or reboots.
Wow. What does that tell you?
Well, it really points to the studios playing it safe, I think, relying heavily on those established franchises, known properties. It says a lot about the current state of the industry.
So we've covered a lot. Legislation shaking things up, conflicts simmering, economic pressures, these cultural trends.
Yeah, and as we've seen, none of these things happen in a vacuum, do they? You start to see how these seemingly separate events might actually connect and influence each other.
It's a lot to process, for sure. It really underlines how interconnected everything is. The question for you, the listener, is what ripple effect from all this will stand out the most?
Definitely something to keep thinking about. How these big decisions and ongoing events continue to shape the world around us.
Keep watching those developments. See you next time.